Okay, moving right along now to the Constantine reviews of episodes 9 and 10, starting off with The Saint of Last Resort, Part 2. This episode was pretty good. It was more or less about John sealing the Demon King Pazuzu within his body, and it was a moment of last resort, hence Saint of Last Resort, and it's more or less, the story, what I like is that it's him trying to deal with his own mortality and everyone else trying to save him, even though some people in his group don't want to save him. And we also get a little more on Zed, who in here she's devoted to John, but at the same time she's wary of him. I like that. And we also have Anna Marie, who Anna Marie is, I don't know if I liked her or hated her. That's the crippling thing, is that I don't know if I liked her in this episode, in this two-parter, or I hated her, because she shoots John to get the kids out, and John understands that, but at the same time she's like, oh well, John was a horrible person, and I made the right call of shooting him to get that demon away, to get that demon away from the kids. And again, it's the whole thing is like, oh, I'm too weak to do this, and this, and this and that. I'm like, God, and there are some other moments where she's very kind to John, but other times she's just very bitchy to him. So I was like, make up your mind, writers. Do you not know how to write this character? I don't know what the hell is going on here, really, with that character. But it's really cool to see Kaz and Zed really step up to the plate here in this story. I especially like how John's interactions with Manny are. I especially like how those interactions really, really play out in this story. I absolutely love how that plays out, because it's more like John says he's okay with going to hell, but not yet. He says he has so much to do still left on Earth. He has so much to do still on Earth, and he doesn't, he feels like he's not ready to die just yet. It's not that he's scared, it's just that, he feels like if he dies, he's gonna leave this huge mess behind for everyone he still cares about on Earth. So I like that, I really do. And there's also we also get a great scene of, what's his name, the actor who played Pedro in Napoleon Dynamite. I was like, the first time I saw it, I was like, where have I seen... Oh, it's Pedro! Man! Where have you been? I was literally like, where have you been? Because he more or less plays this little slimy drug dealer in this prison that John, or should I say Pazuzu, takes control of in the most badass way possible. Like, everyone's just scared of him because they think he's a demon. He's obviously is a demon. He's possessed by a demon. And I just love that moment where it's like the Los Santos, I think that's the name of the gang, or the Los Santos, or whatever the name of the gang is. It's like, they run this place, and then John's like, no, I run this place! And everyone's like, okay, man, you the big dog, you're the big dog, you do all of this. We also have more information on the La Brojima. Again, I am really bad at pronouncing these names, but they release this serpent-type demon who just comes out of nowhere after eating a British guy, the guy in the head of the British embassy, and I don't know, he just kind of shows up. He's mentioned just once or twice in the first part. I remember, if I remember right, but he just shows up, and then it's like his presence here was kind of unneeded, you know what I mean? It just felt like he was just there to be enough, to just show up, and then, them to have a reason to get rid of the little dagger to keep them from killing John Constantine. That's what I really feel like he was there for. He just shows up, and then, oh, I'm a demon, ah, stab, bye, and that's really it. So, yeah, he was that presence kind of felt superfluous. All it really did was just to get rid of the keep them from killing John Constantine off and save it for the exorcism, which admittedly was a great character moment, because this is when Zed really steps up to the plate, saying you may have forgiven John, but you never forgave him. You never forgave yourself for making John Constantine what he is now. And I really like that moment with Zed. and there's just I really just enjoyed that on a whole. The possession the exorcism in of itself is kind of wrapped up in about 2-3 minutes, honestly. And but then again, I'm pretty cool with it on the grounds of, this was more of a story of the people around John, trying to save him, and others trying to think, well, maybe we'd be better off if John died. So that's what I took away from this episode on a whole. So let's move on now to the second to episode 10. So let's talk about this the other episode. Now, this episode was a lot of fun. This really delves into the character that is the other main supporting character that we've all really wanted to know more about. That being Chaz. And this was a really cool idea. But not only that, the villain in this story was also something to be like, ooh, now you've got me interested. The villain behind everything, because the story is that throughout Brooklyn, all these people are falling into comas, and John discovered, and also Chaz's daughter is one of the souls, and it turns out that the souls are being ripped from people's bodies and used by some kind of dark sorcerer. And the sorcerer in question turned out to be none other than Felix Faust, one of Dr. Fate's greatest enemies. But in here, he was more. It's shown that he's in this continuity. He's more like a warlock who's been working for years trying to make deals, and now that he has these souls, he has the power to do this thanks to the rising darkness. So this also explains Chaz's. I'm always getting mixed up on the pronunciation. Yeah, Chaz's immortality. This really explains his quote-unquote immortality. Apparently, John, this was another fault of John Constantine. John apparently, in a drunken stupor, cast a spell on Chaz when he was drunk, and instead he made he cast a spell that Merlin put on the Knights of the Round Table, where if one man fell, all the other lesser people around him, their souls would go to him. So during a club fight, this nightclub they were at, and 47 people die, including him. But instead, he finds out he's alive and has 47 souls within him that are now a part of him, and now he can die exactly 47 times before actually dying. That's really cool. I thought he was, it's been a while since I've read the comics, so, yeah, I think this is a really cool idea. It's kind of like regeneration when you think about it, only you're not turning into another person, you're just burning through another person's life, and only a max number. So we also discover that, yeah, he's still got, by the end of this episode, Chaz still has 30 lives left. So he's used about 17. Yeah. So I'm hoping if this show gets another season, because now everyone's like, well, we don't know if we're going to get a second season or not. We're all kind of really, nervous about it. But I'm really hoping they'll delve into, because obviously 30 lives, man. That sounds like a lot, but the way how many times he's like Kenny. Chaz is like Kenny. He can get killed a lot. So I'm wondering, only 30. Chaz, you've only got 30. You've only got 30 respawns left. You might want to use them wisely. Anyway, I also like how this delves into, how John's mistakes come back to bite him in the ass one way or another. It all, in some form, he is responsible for either damning or, damning or condemning, pick your poison, his friends' lives. One way or another, he's found a way to successfully destroy people's lives, and, now he has to really reflect on that. And this is another show of that, of how much, John's meddling in the dark arts have, really screwed up. But however, he did say that, you can honor these 47 lives by, joining me to fight all this, all the darkness that is arriving on Earth. Again, this is told in flashbacks. I also love how they manage to, how Chaz gets the best of Faust. I love the end of it, he's like, oh, it's just a handshake. I'll give you 31, this is before he gets his, he wastes one. But he pretty much says, oh, 31 lives for my daughter, and you can, do what you want with them, but you give my daughter back. And he says, simple handshake. To which Faust is like, okay. Then he uses this magical weapon called the Achilles sinew, which dispels magic, and holds him there, then pulls out a friggin' grenade and blows himself up. And I'm thinking to myself, man, you should have just let Chaz hold this. We also have another subplot of originally Faust and Constantine made a deal. If Constantine managed to stop this demon from preying on Faust, then he would give his daughter's soul back. And there's kind of a bit of a Star Wars reference in here of the whole, I altered the deal, pray I do not alter it further. All in all, both this episode and the previous one were both pretty good. So, you guys tell me, what did you guys think of the past 2 episodes of Constantine? Did you guys like them? Hate them? Comment below and let me know. And I will see you... And, I will see you guys later.